Hello and welcome to Evolve Pipedrive podcast, where we talk all things Pipedrive, sales, apps, and Pipedrive marketplace. My name is Bruce Bignell. I own and run Evolve. We're a technology consultancy based in the UK, working globally, helping small and scaling businesses get more out of Pipedrive through implementation, consultancy, and training. Today I have the great pleasure to be joined by Akhil, the CEO at Supermeet. Supermeet is a scheduling platform for growing teams who are on Pipedrive, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation with Akhil for a couple of reasons. One, because he's a serial entrepreneur, having started three businesses, not all software focused. His last business before Supermeet was called Bioflock Aquaculture, that he started during the COVID pandemic, which saw him mentor over 1,000 farmers and selling over 2 tons of fish before starting his own farm. And I know he's a huge fan of Pipedrive, and I'm really looking forward to hear what he's up to and how he's using the platform. And I think you're going to like to hear some of the things he's got to say about that as well. So without further ado, welcome Akhil. Please can you introduce yourself and Supermeet to our audience?
Thanks, Bruce. Happy to um, have a talk. Yeah. So, so my name is Akhil, and I'm the CEO at Supermeet.ai. So, Supermeet is about conversational scheduler for growing sales team with high web traffic. And actually, one of our first integration is with Pipedrive, and I'm so great to be here and great to talk regarding Pipedrive because I use Pipedrive, and I used to Pipedrive for like 2 years. And in the past, I used to have a company that consult startups, growing sales teams, companies, and primarily I was managing software development processes. And of course, I used to consult early sales stages. So setting up setting up their website to build a sequence, email outreaches, getting leads from website, then have a conversation, implement a CRM and everything. So we used to talk with a lot of people, consult me, and we had a product that was into email productivity, and it grew to 100,000 of users, and that was a great experience, and that was one of the reason we thought of actually having conversational scheduler because with the previous product and with the experience from working with growing sales teams, I had I thought that there should be a system that is so built for sales teams like Pipedrive. If you ask me what a CRM should choose for setting up a sales process, I will definitely go with Pipedrive because it is so built for salespeople having a good visual system that can really visualize how the sales is going, how the pipelines are performing, things like that.
Who do you think it works best? Because I always think of it as at least two layers, but sometimes even three from a Pipedrive user yourself, right? So not just from the end user standpoint,
Mhm,
but from the business manager or the team manager
mhm,
to then maybe the business owner that wants to know what the manager is doing and the reps themselves are doing. I
mhm.
mean, how did well, first of all, how did you come across Pipedrive? You know, during those early days, and what is it that you think? Why do they get it right still? Though no one else is really that. There's loads of CRMs on the market, right? But I still feel that Pipedrive is the one that's got the sales at the heart of it, right? And
Yeah.
that visual pipeline.
Yeah. So I think, say, if you ask me, I started this startup journey back in 2014, 15, 14 and 15 in between. So I think Pipedrive got launched before that time, and at that time we were just evaluating so many tools, and I remember Pipedrive's early UI. That's a Trello kind of UI that you can
Yeah, the
really focus
Kanban
in.
view. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a main selling point. I think how Pipedrive got that kind of early adopters and market because it made it so visual.
mm.
And I think one of the main component of Pipedrive or main backbone of Pipedrive is the activities. It's all related with activities. I think pipelines are just to create as many as activities as possible, but keep track of that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah. So that's the thing. If you are in sales, you should be looking the activities, you should be tracking activities, you should be monitoring these things so that you can really track the pipeline.
Yeah.
Or if you are just sending an email, just do an activity to send an email on the right time so that we can keep track of everything. And if you are a small team, this is so great because I can see what my team is doing, what how many activities they have. If they have to send an email, I know. If they have an activity to meet someone, I know. So that is simplicity that Pipedrive has got. But one thing, if you ask me, Pipedrive has got this kind of market, so many customers, but still, Pipedrive has tried to be simple. I think I should talk with pipe drivers too because there are people who ask for more features that some CRMs have. But I think the simplicity of pipe drive is the best thing because it's easy to use. There are no configuration problems.
Yeah.
Easy to starter. That's the main thing. So
Yeah.
that's why I used to, if some company, even if they are at growth stage, if they come to me and ask me, hey Agil, what would be the best CRM to start with, then Spydrive.
Yeah, no, I love that, and we think it's great for startups and scale ups as well. It's funny, about 70% of the people that have been on the podcast, they've got their own business or they've got a software business. They're using Pipedrive, and there must be a reason for it because it's easy to use. It can scale with them, certainly for the first 2, 3, 4 years, and beyond even. Just on that point about the over complex on over complexity of pipe drive or people having asks. There's two things I feel on that, and it might be a bit controversial. One is um, I think you should be able to ask features from the you want to hear features from your client base, and because obviously that gives you kind of new directions to go in as a product. But then I also see some people that are um, act as if Pipedrive owe them that one feature. um, and it's like the sense of entitlement is quite staggering. Um,
Yeah,
when if they did do that, that then opens the door to more complexity, which actually moves the whole needle for the Pipedrive user base. Um, but yeah, anyway, we won't get into too much about that because I think
yeah,
it's hilarious. But with Supermeet, what's the we know pipe drives ICP, right? So pipe drives trying to it's great for sales teams and kind of SMEs up to we've worked with businesses up to £60 million a year using it, so it can work for the 1 or 2 person businesses and it can be used for scaling businesses. But what's your ICP? Who are you trying to target here? Like what's the business pain that Supermeet's solving?
yeah. So that's a second part of the story. Yeah.
Mm.
So as I said, I was using Pipedrive for me as well. Some other companies, those companies who are really growing, having more leads, like they have websites that has very good traffic, and there are a lot of leads coming every day. So during that time, uh, if we use Pipedrive, the one thing that we felt there should be a feature that Pipedrive should have was lead routing, because so many leads are coming and there are so many sales reps. So it's difficult to use pipe drive in that situation. Then, of course, pipe drive has a scheduler that is very good and simple, but still with this kind of customers. So if you ask my ICP, that would be like super growing sales teams with pipe drive who has like more than 10 sales SDR and growing very much, then having sales reps from different time zones, trying to book meeting with customers, having website with high traffic. So that is the kind of customers we are targeting with Supermeet. And I know Pipedrive has got that kind of customers, and they are keeping asking a lot of features. Again, this lead routing scheduler, and they want to embed the scheduler onto their website. they want to say they want to have their own branding. Yeah, because they are a big brand, they have a lot of visitors. It's not a one man play, so they want to leverage their branding into scheduler page. So when that kind of when I faced with that kind of clients or situations, and we had this idea from our previous startup to build a scheduler, a super good scheduler. So I was trying to evaluate different CRMs and who should be the first integration for Supermeet. So obviously it was Pipedrive because I used to deal with that kind of people, and I believe um, um, compared to other CRMs like maybe Salesforce, HubSpot, there aren't many customers like this ICP with Pipedrive. But of course, I think it's super easy to talk with pipe drivers and easy to have them onboarded. So I think there is a gap because of this scheduler functionality,
Yeah.
and there is this requirement, a growing requirement for lead routing and more complex operations with this CRM data. So that's why we try to build what native API integration with Pipedrive so that you can pull all the data from Pipedrive to our scheduler system and do lead routing. Um, um, what make it flex so much flexible so that you can achieve any kind of booking scenarios with Superme.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I just made some notes there. There's a couple of things I want to touch on. Did you say your previous the emailing scheduling business that you had before got to 200,000 customers?
100,000
100,000
users
customers.
actually, not customers, users. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. So, and obviously from that stemmed a lot of the research and the insights that kind of led you to start the Supermeet journey.
yeah. Yeah, actually, if you ask me, it was not into sales. It
Mm.
was more into common people, consumers, individuals, freelancers, maybe small companies, consulting companies. So the use cases, or they actually they are ideal customers for Pipedrive. Actually, that's how. Yeah, so it's small teams, like 5 members teams using that product. So we had so much insights, and actually, I was so active in the Pipedrive community for
Mm.
some time, and I used to talk with people. I used to sometimes answer questions regarding email things, and of course, sales things. So that's how we actually really validated the market segment. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how we first started speaking, maybe a year or so ago, maybe more.
Yeah, actually, for audience, I got connected with Bruce via this community. I think I answered some question, which in which Bruce was having another uh, answer. So
Yeah,
we met there, and actually, we got like we took last 6 or 6 more than 6 months to build this product. So now it's ready, and I thought of talking with Bruce. Yeah,
yeah, it's cool. So,
yeah,
coming into this, I mean, because scheduling is something that whether it's personal, whether it's business, whether it's scaling sales teams, we all do it, right? Um,
yeah.
what research have you seen that you could share around kind of increasing in productivity around having an effective meeting scheduler?
Yeah, so I don't want to really talk about a scheduler only. Let's speak
Mm.
more about the pipe drive and how we can have great outcome from pipe drive. So, if you ask me, as a owner of this product, what I think is Pipedrive has these fields, Pipedrive CRM fields to have all your data. So for a good company or for a good sales team, what you want to do is have as much as data about your lead, whether it is cold or hot, to have in your CRM so that you can actually um, have proper analytics and everything. Maybe you can actually do band or medic processes. So I think Bruce has a video about band and medic. You may actually go visit. Bruce, please put that link down below. Yeah, that would be helpful. So I used to follow medic process because As a SaaS founder, I prospect leads a lot. Every day, I add leads to my CRM. So what I do is I try to understand what technologies these companies are using. Are they using any of my competitors? Maybe Calendly is my competitor. So
Mm.
if they are using my competitors, and what CRM they are using? Are they using Pipedrive or are they using HubSpot? If they are using HubSpot, they are not for me. So
Hmm.
I have tools. I have some internal tools, and I use some other data tools to understand my customers. So I put all this data into my CRM. So if you look at my CRM, I have fields like what competitors are they using? Say, then what are other technologies that are complementary to us, or maybe that will work with Supermeet? So
Mm.
that actually I can actually narrow down my leads to the best possible hot deals. So even when I have a meeting with someone, whether they are scheduled using Supermeet or not, what I do is I take meeting notes. I ask the same questions. That is, I have a field in my CRM for all these questions. Like a meeting agenda, I have all these fields in my CRM. So I just note down all the answers and immediately add into my CRM fields. So that's how by the end of this meeting, I'm all done with this lead. I don't need to go back to some other tools. I do everything with my CRM. So that would be something that Supermeet is going to have with another feature, the
Mm.
capability to have all the banned medic process fields filled with your meeting data by the end of this meeting, and not going to any other tools. You just do the meeting and all these fields are filled.
That's cool, and that kind of links back to what you said before about the lead routing, right? So,
Yeah,
um, if you've got high traffic coming through your site, um, you then want to make sure you have got clean data, and if you can, because you might also might have specialists in your team who, if they're a larger enterprise client, you might want to route it to that person. So if
right,
you've captured that data early, you can then go across there with any um, then meeting notes from that call or from that meeting. Uh, if you're going to use a medic framework, it basically is like building a sales story. So then those elements are then filled out for the next person as it gets passed from the
right.
SDR, BDR,
Yeah,
AE, delivery, and it just builds the whole story out there.
yeah.
So I like that. Yeah, it's very cool.
So
Um,
how I implement this is that I have a junior sales team who actually prospect clients, and they fill their first level of data, what
mm,
all this data they have about this leads. Then when I meet this lead, I actually go to the again fields and put the answers during this meeting, and it's done. So
yeah.
actually, I can plot analytics. Say, if you ask me, I would say companies who is having employees kind of more than 50 is my ideal customer. But if you go down a little deeper, what the real metric is how many sales rep in that company.
How many sales happen?
No, how many sales reps in that company out of
Yes.
this 50
Yeah.
employees. So that's the data that makes them really qualified or not. They
Mm,
will be having 50 members in that company, but if there is only two sales guys, not for me. But
that's
if they are more than 50, 10, that's for me. So I asked this question in the meeting, and this is something. Uh, this is goes to the medic fields.
yeah.
So it's that's how we do things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it. So what does your team look like at the moment? 'Cause obviously, you got your co-founder.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, the team is very small and it's a so startup.
yeah,
And currently, we are three members, two
right.
founders, and one employee working in full time, and we have some other developers working around the world. We're just totally remote team. We are now in India, and we're looking to have a headquarters in Estonia because I think there are a lot of people using Pipedrive in Estonia and lot of opportunities for startups like us in Estonia. So we are looking to move into Estonia soon. Yeah, that's a current situation, and
I like it.
yeah,
Estonia, the old town's gorgeous, and it's obviously where Pipe Drive headquarters is as well. So it's
yeah. I think
you might need a coat. It's pretty cold there in the winter.
yeah, yeah, right. Actually, yeah, maybe we could talk with pipe drivers or maybe pipe drive team regarding this product and have a lot of
Yeah,
growth there.
no, absolutely. So in terms, so that's quite a nice segue into how does Supermeet integrate with Pipedrive? Obviously, you know Pipedrive very well. You built this app out; it's now live. But how do they integrate? Is it native? Do you have to use any software to integrate them?
Yeah, it's totally native. Actually, that's why we put like more than 6 months to build this kind of an integration. You don't need to worry anything while using Supermate. You can actually have it from the. We have an app in the Pipedrive marketplace, just released right now, and we you can actually start from Supermate dashboard itself. You just go with some clicks and it's done. Most of the common fields will be automated, and you can actually have custom fields within Supermeet that is talking with your Pipedrive fields. Yeah, you can actually get started in like 2 3 minutes. You can actually have your first meeting as an activity in your Pipedrive within the first 2 or 3 minutes.
Nice, and it's the way it integrates is it's two ways. So there are other. We'll have a link in the description to a further demo that we've Akhil's actually taken me through. And if, in fact, why don't you share that piece now, right? So if someone schedules a meeting and they're already in your pipe drive linked to an organization, or they're not, I think tell me more. What would happen if someone did that if they came through SuperMeet?
Yeah, that is the area where actually Superman is so cool. Actually, as I said, we had this idea when we worked with super growing companies. So the companies who has a good sales team, they already have so many lead data in their CRM. Can be lead, deal, activity, maybe person, or just organization. Sometimes some companies just start with organization as a lead, and they keep on adding data as they explore it, the possibilities. So I used to start with organization. Okay, so what happens if someone is already in your CRM, or maybe he's not in your CRM, but there is an organization connected to this person in your CRM. So what we do is we don't really want to create another organization because he's already in your CRM and he has an email. We actually connect this and we validate this person with this email. And
Mm.
okay, oh no, that okay, we know that hey, Bruce is from this company, so let's add Bruce to this company. And even if I ask you to enter your company name in a form or maybe with Supermate, we don't really create a new company or we don't really overwrite the current company name in your CRM. We actually add you to this existing organization.
Mm.
So that's why we don't have duplications. Then another interesting thing that we do is uh, we identify the users with emails. So if someone tried to book a meeting with an invalid email, this often happens, and our data says that this is the more primary reason for no shows. Because if you're having a good product and you have a very high traffic on your website, 80% of that traffic will be cold leads and many will try to spam you. They will try to put some information on contact form. They will try to book meeting and they don't really show up, so they do this with temporary emails, invalid emails. So we actually analyze these emails and we will know that okay, this is a valid person or this is not a valid person, or this person already on your CRM, so let's connect it.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful in two regards, right? So if they're already on your CRM, it enriches it there, and so it's upgraded your data there.
Yeah,
If they try, and then from the other side, so sometimes people will put a purposefully put an invalid email because they don't want to be contacted.
yeah,
But as a business, you don't want that person coming into your CRM. So you're like, well, if you're not going to give me an email, there's no sales intent there, so there's no worries. And then it also it can capture people that may have spelt their email wrong, for example. So if it's not a correct email, they can then um, it will capture it at that stage because of the domain. So
Yes.
yeah, that's cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Um, can you tell me a little bit more about how you started Supermeet and how you met your co-founders, maybe a bit more? So you've mentioned your previous business as a consultancy. Is it still the same co-founders that you're doing Supermeet with? And what is it that you? Why do you keep staying with them? What is it that you bring out of each other that works so well for all these years?
Yeah, interesting question. Actually, I started just after my college back in 2014. So I met my co-founder, Mr. Arun, in a community or incubation area within our country. So we used to co-work for some of my clients, some of my very first clients, and that's how we found our synergy. I was into everything other than coding. I don't know coding. I do marketing, sales, design. I designed the entire product by my
Yeah.
hand. I do everything other than coding. So I wanted a good person who can do anything with coding. So that's how we found this synergy. Okay, he can do coding. He can learn anything and make things in short time. And as I said, I started the journey with consultancy just after in the college. So we had no idea what to do, but still,
Yeah.
my yeah, my value proposition to my clients was that we were trying to build MVP for startups and companies. So MVP in short time. We are super good with MVPs. That was our selling point, and we tried to deliver on time. So that's how actually we got more. I got more this thing with Arun because he
Mm.
used to build everything so fast. He used to ship everything so fast, and all are happy. So that's
Was this with the is it the Python?
yes, Python Labs. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Python Lab.
yeah, that's a company. That's a company that we have in our home country, and we had some products. We had some failures as well. We used to prototype product fast, ship fast, and get feedbacks. I think this is the product that took more time because I used to spend a lot of time with this Pipedrive community, Pipedrive, talk with people because I'm so excited with this product and I invested like a year with business development, discovery calls, and all. So yeah, that's why we met in last year and
Yeah,
we are having this call this year.
yeah, I love it. So
Yeah,
so um, thank you for that. So it's just as we look to kind of wrap up here, if we were to go through some quick fire questions
yeah,
about pipe drive and also Supermeet, right? So
sure, right.
um, I'm actually going to ask this about pipe drive probably more because you know pipe drive more than most people here. What's your favorite use case that you've seen people use pipe drive for?
It's simple, the pipeline visual view. That- I know there are a lot of companies doing the same.
Yeah,
But I like the simplicity of this view and activities.
yeah.
Uh, Activities that moves deals through the pipeline. That's the concept of pipe drive, and that's the thing that I like.
That's why people keep using it.
Yeah,
Top tips for people. This is now on Supermeet. Top tips for getting started,
yeah,
and top tips for people that are seasoned pros that they may have used a competitor before.
yeah.
So obviously leaning more into some of the more powerful features of Supermeet. So if someone was just getting started with a scheduler, what would you say and recommend there?
Yeah, actually, on a product perspective, it's so easy. You don't really need to know about field mapping configuration problems. Actually, we have got this onboarding process so smooth, and I'm also adding more videos and help content. But on a sales perspective, if you are a team of like 4 or 5 people, first, there would be an admin person or the head of sales. So I would prefer the head of sales to have a look at Supermeet
Mm.
first before the agents, so that he can actually create his own team, invite people, and have the lead routing capabilities, and he can really validate or review it if it works with their use cases, because the head of sales guys are better to evaluate tools. So
Yeah,
I would prefer head of sales guy to start SuperMe. And if they need any help, I'm always available. Yeah,
perfect. And obviously they can schedule through a super meet cat.
yeah, sure. Yeah,
It's very easily
happy
done.
to meet at any time.
As a Pipedrive user,
Yeah.
do you have any Pipedrive feature requests?
Actually, there are few. Recently, or no, not recently, last year they had this lead feature, and there was lead kind of enrichment feature powered by what the other tool called um, lead
Just
feeder.
lead feeder
Yeah,
and prospector and web. Yeah,
yeah, lead feeder has got this native integration with Pipedrive,
yeah,
and that's so interesting. Say a lead can be converted to a deal at any time. So there can be data associated with leads. There can be enriched data. Actually, Pipedrive provides a feature for enriching if they have an email, but those fields are not a native part of this Pipedrive.
yeah. You
Actually, I
can't
want
export
to.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, actually, I want to use that data, like, because that is so cool feature. Many other CRMs have it. Pipedrive has it, but Pipedrive haven't really combined these fields with their native fields, or at least they should give an option to convert that field to a custom field.
yeah. So if I've got you right there, the smart data feature, whether that's on a contact or an organization,
Mm.
is great when it fills out because you get a lot of useful stuff, gravatars, LinkedIn profiles, etc. But you can't then convert that into the contact or organization system fields currently.
Yeah, actually, that's another way you can have a better medic or ban process, because you are getting data for free, or maybe you are paying to Python, but anyway, it's so easy.
Yeah,
You are getting from other data providers. So, if we have this capability to convert these data into some custom fields, we can actually use for a medic or ban.
yeah,
Then there is another. I think so many are requesting it, the capability to send cold outreach mails, because Pipedrive is so good to get started. So most businesses start with cold outreaches, like me. So if Pipedrive has a native feature to send cold outreach emails on schedules, that works for the what on a scheduled manner, that would be so great. I think there are other tools that works with Pipedrive. Actually, Mailshake work with. I think you did a call with
yeah. We had
Mailshake last time.
Mailshake last 2 weeks ago,
Uh,
3 weeks ago.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I know Mailshake, and I used Mailshake for some time. So Mailshake is a very good tool integrated with Pipedrive, but actually Pipedrive can look into building their own actually, so that
Yeah,
I love Mailshake anyway, but Pipedrive should look into build their own scheduler, maybe
yeah.
code out
Well,
features.
I'll show you some things after this possibly
Yeah, great.
yeah, that I'm trying out. Um, well, okay, this has been brilliant. Is there anything in particular you'd like to cover before we look to close off today?
Um, yeah. Mm, is it being recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it's uh, it's an interesting discussion, and if you ask me more questions or keep me engaged, I'm happy to talk more. But I
Yeah.
can't really think about something. New.
That's cool. That's cool. So what I'll say here then is that's it for this week. Thank you for listening to Evolve Pipedrive podcast. We talk all things Pipedrive sales in the Pipedrive marketplace. At Evolve, we're a technology consultancy based in the UK and working globally, specialising in small and scaling businesses get more out of their Pipedrive and the wider tech stack through implementation, consultancy, and training. If you found this insightful, please let us know what you think in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, or share with someone that you think will find this useful. We value all of your feedback. Akhil, thank you very much. And
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks
we'll
for having me.
see you
Yeah,
guys soon. Cheers.
yeah, yeah.